Thunder Cake by Patricia Polacco. On sultry summer days at my grandma's farm in Michigan, the air gets damp and heavy. Storm clouds drift low over the fields. Birds fly close to the ground. The clouds glow for an instant with a sharp, crackling light, and then a roaring, low, tumbling sound of thunder makes the windows shudder in their panes. The sound used to scare me when I was little. I loved to go to Grandma's house, Babushka, as I used to call my grandma. She'd come from Russia years before. But I feared Michigan's summer storms. I feared the sound of thunder more than anything. I always hid under the bed when the storm moved near the farmhouse. This is the story of how my grandma, my babushka, helped me overcome my fear of thunderstorms. You ready? I should show you that page, actually. How can you tell this is a farm? Can you find 3 things that help you, so I can get this book angled correctly, 3 things that help you figure out this is a farm? What are 3 noticings? If you said geese, I would agree with you. I see chickens, goats, see what looks like maybe a barn over here. I see fields. Ooh, and I see that looming thunderstorm, the impending, fearful thunderstorm. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is thunder cake baking weather, all right. Looks like a storm coming to me." She's looking out at that storm. She can see it coming. "Child, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. Oh boy, she looks scared, huh? Under that bed. Just see her feet popping out at the end there. And Grandma is like, oh, I can't figure out which way to go here. Grandma's like, get out. Come on. There's nothing to be afraid of. Ooh, it doesn't feel good to me when someone tells me that I shouldn't be afraid. Does that feel good to you? I didn't think so. Because it's normal to feel scared. In fact, everyone feels scared sometimes. Even the adults in your life, even they feel scared sometimes, and that's normal. The thing is that we have to figure out what to do when we feel scared, how to cope with that. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house, rattled the windows, and made me grab her close. "Steady, child," she cooed. "Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today." "Thunder cake?" I stammered as I hugged her even closer. "Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand?" she asked. "We need to know how far away the storm is, so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be real thunder cake." Her eyes surveyed the black clouds way off in the distance. Then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "Here it is, thunder cake." She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. "Now let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the thunder roared. 10 miles. It's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs careful like, she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Peck? Oh, Nellie Peck Hen, I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. I'm here. She won't try to hurt you. Just get them eggs, Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I counted 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. Milk from old Kick Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kick Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She was a big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Baroom! Went the thunder. 8 miles, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar from the flour in the dry shed. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly, the lightning slit the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom! Baroom! Crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot. But I kept walking. I kept walking with Grandma. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept into the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom! The thunder bellowed. It was dark and I was scared. I'm here, child, Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't got much time. We've got everything but the secret ingredient. What do you guys think the secret ingredient's going to be? 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. This is the trellis. It's a little device usually made out of wood or metal, and it helps the plants grow so they can creep up along the trellis. And look, she's climbing up that thing. Seems a little dangerous, huh? I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kabang! Kaboom! The thunder rumbled and growled. We hurried back to the house in the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned the butter for the frosting. Have you ever churned butter? It takes forever, you guys. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven again. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3, and then the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have a real thunder cake. Oh, look at them. Look how proud they look of themselves. Can you see their faces? They are so proud that they got this thunder cake done and ready. They're putting it in the oven. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why, you aren't afraid of thunder. You're too brave, she said as she looked right at me. Well, I'm not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed, remember? But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from mean old Nellie Peck Hen. You got milk from an old kick cow. You went through Tanglewood Woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis to the barnyard. From where I sit, only a very, very brave person could have done all them things. What do you guys think? Because I think Grandma's got a point there. She says that she's not brave, and certainly she feels scared. But is feeling scared and being brave mutually exclusive? Are those two things mutually exclusive? Which means, like, can only one be true? Or could they both exist at the same time? Can you be scared and brave? Think about that. I thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. I love frosting. Just then the lightning flashed, and this time it lit the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and baroomed just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed. Just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of our thunder cake. As rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. When the thunder roared above us so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards, we just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. Wow. So I have a question for you guys. Can you be brave and scared at the same time? Is it possible to be scared of something, but to also try to overcome that thing and try to be brave in the face of fear? Because I once read that bravery didn't mean that you weren't scared. It just means acting even when you are scared. And I feel like that was never more true than for this girl in this story who thought that she was afraid of everything and in fact was afraid of a lot of things. And that's normal to be afraid. We're all afraid. I am afraid all the time. But I conquer that fear because I got to keep going, right? And there's lots of ways I do that. Sometimes I do things like in this book where I kind of just distract myself, or I think about other things, or I take a friend or a family member with me into the space where I'm not feeling super safe, and then they can be my guide and kind of help me through that fear. I journal. I write about when I'm feeling afraid, and I brainstorm ideas for things that I can do to help myself feel better.